everybody, it's Tara here from Tiny Teas. Welcome back to the channel, and today I have got the most beautiful puppets from Puppets by Post. And so I thought today I would tell you the story of Peter Rabbit and Mr Tod. So first of all, what we're going to do is think about all of the characters that we have in Peter Rabbit. So firstly, of course, we have cheeky Peter Rabbit. Everyone pop your hands on your head like this, like ears, and make a cheeky face. Then, of course, we have Flopsy and Mopsy. We have Cottontail, so wiggle your bottoms. And of course, we have brave Benjamin Bunny. So everyone put your hands on your hips like this, and let's be brave. Then we have sneaky Mr Tod. So you can tiptoe like this, or you can put your hands on your head like ears and tiptoe. Shh. We have the big brown owl. Now everybody make your eyes nice and wide. And bring your swooping wings out like this. And of course, we can't forget Squirrel Nutkin. Now, Squirrel Nutkin loves eating his nuts, doesn't he? So let's nibble our nuts. Maybe take a nut from a tree. Well then, now that we've thought about all of the characters in the story, let's get started. And remember, if you don't have any of the characters or the toys, don't worry, you can just act it out as we go along. So this is the tale of Peter Rabbit by Beatrix Potter, a classic children's story, perfect for bedtime. And I have added in my own ending with Mr Tod. Once upon a time, there were 4 little rabbits, and their names were Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Peter. They lived with their mother on a sandbank underneath the roof of a great big fir tree. Can everybody stretch up their arms to make a big tree? Now, my dears, said old Mrs. Rabbit one morning, you may go to the fields or down the lane, but don't go into Mr. McGregors Garden. Your father had an accident there, and he was put in a pie by Mr. McGregor. Oh, I bet that was horrible. We don't want that, do we? Now, run along and don't get into mischief. I am going out. Then old Mrs. Rabbit took a basket and her umbrella and went through the wood to the baker's. She bought a loaf of brown bread and 5 currant buns. Oh, yummy. Let's pretend we got a currant bun. Flopsy, Mopsy and Cottontail were good little bunnies, and they went down the lane to collect some blackberries. Let's jump like a bunny, everybody. Can you hop on one leg? And hop on the other. And now wiggle your bottoms. Boing, boing. Now let's pick some blackberries. Isn't that sweet? Yummy, and rub your tummies. But Peter Rabbit, a very, very naughty rabbit, he ran straight into Mr. McGregor's garden. And squeezed under the gate. Yes. Naughty Peter Rabbit. As he got to Mr McGregor's garden, he had a look around. Whoa! And he couldn't believe how much delicious food there was. Well, first he ate some lettuces. And then some French beans. And then he ate some radishes, his favourite. And then, after feeling rather sick, he went down to look for some parsley. But just as he got round to the cucumber frame, who should he meet but Mr McGregor? Mr McGregor was on his hands and knees planting on some young cabbages. When he jumped out after he saw Peter waving a rake and calling out, "Stop, thief! Run everybody, run away from Mr McGregor!" Peter was most dreadfully frightened. Shake your bodies, everybody. And he rushed all over the garden. For he had forgotten his way back to the gate. Oh no! He had lost one of his shoes among the cabbages and the other shoe among one of the potatoes. Oh, what have I done? After losing them, he ran on 4 legs and went faster. Can you run on 4 legs? But unfortunately, he ran straight into a gooseberry net. Oh no! And because of the buttons on his jacket, he got caught. Help! Help! Oh, Peter gave himself up for lost and he started shedding some tears. Well, luckily, his sobs were heard by some friendly sparrows flying up above. And they flew down to him in excitement and told him he must get out quick. Phew! But Mr McGregor came up to Peter Rabbit with a big sieve which he intended to pop onto Peter's head. Come here, boy! Come here, little rabbit! But Peter managed to wriggle out in time, although leaving his jacket behind him. Oh dear. So Peter Rabbit rushed into the tool shed. Quick, Peter! And jumped into a can. Phew! It would have been a beautiful thing to hide in, but it had lots of water in it, so it made Peter feel very wet and damp. Mr McGregor was quite sure that Peter was somewhere in his tool shed. Quick, Peter, hide! So he began to look all around under the flower pots. Oh, not under there. Oh, not under there. But suddenly, Peter had to sneeze. Achoo! Oh gosh! And Mr McGregor was after him in no time. Little rabbit! Quick, everyone, run away from Mr McGregor! Well, from all of the running away from Mr McGregor, Peter found himself very lost. And he sat down to rest because he was out of breath. After a time, he began to wander around, going lippity, lippity, not very fast, and looking all around. He found a door in a wall. Yes! But it was locked, and there was no room for a fat little rabbit to squeeze underneath. Let's give it a go. good. Well, just then, an old mouse was running past, carrying some peas and some beans. Peter asked her the way to the gate, but she had such a large pea in her mouth that she couldn't answer. She only shook her head at him. And Peter began to cry, feeling lost and sad and wishing that he'd stuck to his mum's rules. Oh. Well, just to make matters even worse, who should come and sneak behind Peter? Mr. Tod. Can you be sneaky like Mr. Tod? Tiptoe, 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 tiptoe. Well, Mr. Tod thought that he would be funny and clever and cunning, and he snuck up on Peter. And decided that he would give him a big fright. And with that, Peter decided he would run away from Mr. Tod as quickly as he could. Quick, Peter! But as they both began running, they suddenly bumped into a big boot. Uh-oh. It wasn't just any boot. It was Mr. McGregor's boot. Oh, now look what you've done, said Peter. Mr. McGregor was not very happy and he tried to stamp on them both. Stamp, 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 stamp. Ah! But luckily they ran off again and got away from him. Mr. Tod ran after Peter some more. Leave me alone, said Peter, feeling very brave. Why should I leave you alone, Peter? You're a thief, said Mr. Tod. I was only trying to have a little snack, said Peter, feeling very sorry for himself. Well, I'll let you get away this time, said Mr. Tod. But next time, you better watch your steps, little rabbit, or I'll be stealing all of your radishes. What? Well, luckily with that, Mr. Tod snuck off again, into the shadows and into the bushes. Well, now that Mr. Tod had gone home and left Peter Rabbit alone at last, he was finally able to try and see if he could get to the back of the gate. Luckily, the swallows showed him the way, over that way, and he managed to run past Mr. McGregor as quickly as he could on 4 legs. Phew! He managed to just get past Mr. McGregor and squeeze under the gate. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Phew! Said Peter, and he knew he was safe in the garden. Well, Peter ran all the way home just to make sure that he was safe. He didn't stop for 1 minute. And finally, as he got to his big fir tree where he was at home, he let out a big sigh of relief. He caught his breath and went inside to see his mother. He was very ashamed of himself and felt very embarrassed. But he was so tired that he flopped straight down and shut his eyes. Time to relax. For you. Well, Peter Rabbit's mother was very busy cooking in the kitchen, and she did wonder what he'd done with all of his clothes. I'm sure he'll tell me tomorrow. Well, that night, Peter had eaten so much already in Mr. McGregor's garden, and he was so exhausted from all the running, his mother just had to give him a nice big kiss and a chamomile tea to settle his stomach. But Flopsy, Mopsy and Cottontail had a delicious supper that night. They had bread, milk and of course blackberries. The end. Thank you very much everybody for listening to the story today. If you liked what you saw, remember to click subscribe and keep watching all of the other videos on my channel. And if you have any other story requests, send them in to me through social media. And again, a massive, massive thank you to Puppets by Post for sending me these beautiful, beautiful puppets. See you soon!